Marcus, fifth and final year here at UNI. How fast does it go?
It goes pretty fast. I remember my true freshman year being here, head spinning, but just being happy to be down here at UNI. And now, I just want to help elevate the program and leave it in a better place here. But it did go by fast. I'm really happy with all the trials we went through and all the great times, great memories we've had so far, and just ready to make one more go around, be able to look back at it and just be satisfied with what I accomplished and what we accomplished as a team.
Obviously, last year that ankle injury had you sit out a few games. You got it cleaned up in the off season. From a health perspective, is this as good as you felt in quite some time?
Yeah, I'm good to go, and I'm not thinking about that. I'm not thinking about any injuries. I'm just thinking about how can I get better on the field right now, and just taking preparation day by day. How do I get better at practice and every rep and every drill we do? So that's a awesome thing to have, a weight lifted off my shoulders, not having to think about that, every day. So I'm excited to just keep after that and see what happens during the season and see how that all translates to the field.
Not bringing up the injury thing again, but when you had to sit out that first part of the campaign last season, just how tough is it knowing the fact you put in so much work, you want to be that much ready for the season, and all of a sudden the body wasn't letting it happen for you?
Yeah, that's really tough, and it can take a toll on you. That's what sports is. And life is too. You give it your all, and there's some things you can't control out there. Obviously, I didn't see myself not taking an offensive snap for the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, but that's the way it worked out, and I didn't know if I was going to make it back, but I just kept at it and controlled what I could control, and had great help from my teammates and my training staff, the training room and everything, and I was fortunate enough to get back out there and had a great season as a team and as an individual. So really, the things get thrown at you. You just got to keep the faith and just keep pushing forward.
And when you got on the field, you put up some pretty good season-long numbers, and really a half season. What got it done for you once you got out there last year?
Yeah, I think I came in at an interesting time. We had our backs against the wall, and we were going into the heart of the schedule with some tough opponents. But really, the team just really turned a corner and just knew that we had to put out and give it our all. So I think our O-line and Eli was playing great, and our receivers were catching everything. Dries Fountain was playing awesome. I think the whole team played a huge part in that, and then just giving it my all, knowing that I was lucky and fortunate enough to be back playing. Didn't know if I was going to do that, so just taking every rep, just happy and grateful to be out there.
And you mentioned Dries. Last year here on Media Day, he probably didn't get a lot of attention, but all of a sudden he's the East-West Shrine Game MVP, gets a lot of attention, puts up some great numbers at the NFL Combine, and now has a pro chance. Is that kind of an example of what happens here on a regular basis?
Yeah, I think UNI is notorious for just coming here, putting your work in, not getting a ton of media attention, not getting out of high school, out of college. You gotta expect that, and you can't let it get to you, and you just gotta be humble and just keep on pushing. And if you believe in yourself, obviously Dries believed in himself, David Johnson, LJ Ford, there's a long line of guys that have made it and have just put the work in, haven't gotten discouraged because we don't play at the FBS level or whatever, just knowing that things can work out if you just put the work in and just keep grinding and keep the faith.
Coach Farley in the press conference called you the team leader this year. Is that a role that you just try to set an example for everybody else to follow? Is that a role you're comfortable with?
If he says it, that means a lot coming from him, but also, it's mainly if my teammates say that too. And my whole life, at walk-on, we tried to set an example and set a standard and hopefully start something there. And if you saw, last year, obviously them winning the state championship, so my senior year, we had never made it to the state championship. that wasn't talked about a whole lot, but we talked about it and we tried leading that way with expectations, with setting an example and doing that. So I kind of feel in the same spot, obviously, someone's got to do it, but I think we all are capable of being leaders. We have a great senior core guys and even some juniors and underclassmen that are great leaders that do what's expected, that set the standard, set a great culture. And if they want to label one guy, that's okay, because we need to raise the standard to get this place where it's supposed to be. And UNI is a winning tradition with a great culture, so I'm just happy to help elevate that through my practice and just through whatever I do say when I say that.
And Coach Farley brought that up in the press conference. When you guys come down to practice every day, when you go through your locker room, you see it on the wall, the great teams of years past, runner-ups, semifinalists, quarterfinalists. Do you ever take a moment to sink that all in, or does that motivate you guys to really step up your game to the next level?
Yeah, I think that does. I think what I've learned the most over the past 4 years, you meet so many guys that have played here, and you meet guys that have played in the national championship game, or you meet guys that were on a great semifinals team, or team that goes to Iowa and puts them on the ropes, and you just know that now it's your job to go do things like that so you can set a standard and that you can create those things that people look up to and need to reach for. So yeah, it is something that you're like, okay, this has been done before, so it's expected of you. So I think that's the biggest thing, is it raises the expectations.
Most consistent position last year was running back, but you did a little bit of everything. They put you out at slot receiver. You were a wildcat quarterback. Obviously, you're comfortable playing anywhere that can get you on the field and you can thrive. But do you feel you're a more versatile player than you were maybe a couple of years ago?
Yeah, potentially. I think the biggest thing is just confidence and knowing that, if you get put out on the field, you got to be confident that the coaches put you there for a reason and you're there to help the team win, and they think that's going to be the place that's going to help the team win. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just being, no matter what position I'm put in, that I can do it, and I got my teammates around me and they're going to help me, help us all succeed. And that's the main goal, is just to win football games and just help the team get better and help the program get better.
And you saw probably your most action in your career at the running back position last year. Is that home for you, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, that's the position I grew up, third grade, and I always dreamed of playing, always did play. I can't remember. I played both ways, so I played some outside linebacker and, defense also, and special teams, obviously, growing up, but I always also played running back and, a little quarterback, when Parker got hurt. But other than that, I mean, running back's always been home for me, where I'm most comfortable and what I've done my whole life. So when I'm back there, I feel really comfortable and I feel confident, and it's a lot of fun for me, and I think that's a huge part of it. That's a fun position for me.
Individually, what's going to be the key for you having as much success as possible this year?
I think just, keeping it day by day and not being satisfied, and just keep pushing, keep looking for extra things to get better at, and just trying to get better every single day, all the way until the last snap of the season. But also just taking it all in and knowing that the team's relying on me, relying on all of these senior guys. So these senior guys do have to put everything they have into this season, and just being thankful and grateful. I get to play another year. Being here 5 years is pretty incredible. It's really something to be. I think a lot of people that know that you redshirted and that you go all 5 years, I think, appreciate that, because you really are giving everything to the program, and I think that's going to carry me a long way.
You've obviously set a high standard on the football field, but academically you're pretty darn good too. 4.0, everything like that. You've gotten a lot of awards for your work in the classroom. How do you balance it all?
Yeah, it's tough, but I think it's just your approach to everything is how you do anything is how you do everything. I put the same amount of effort and value into my schoolwork, and it is tough to balance, and it'll be tough to balance this fall. But it's important to me because football is going to be done someday, and it's something that I like to do. I like school a lot, so it's just applying the same skills that I apply to football, just being detailed and giving great effort and having a great attitude.
So you're on schedule to graduate semester here?
Yep, December. I'll graduate in December. I just took my law school admissions test a couple weeks ago. I get my scores back this week, and then that'll tell me more about, hopefully I'll have a good score to get in the schools I want to get into, and then make a decision and then enroll for the following fall.
And just final question for you, and we appreciate you taking the time to answer my long-winded questions this morning, but you look at you and Parker still doing great things down at Iowa. You look at a couple kids, Abe Schwartz and also Mitchell Snitker, playing scholarship football. 25 years ago, people wouldn't say that would happen in walk-on. Do you feel, as you look back, you guys set a pretty good tone with that team that was runners-up 5 years ago?
Yeah, that was probably my biggest goal coming out of high school. I wanted to win a state championship, but more than that, I wanted to start a dynasty or start a legacy of just being good at football and having guys love football and set a good standard every year and not having down years. And obviously we came up just short when winning a state title, but man, we've made the playoffs a lot, made the quarterfinals a lot in the past 5-6 years. And then, finally winning a state title, that was awesome, getting to witness that. And then seeing guys go on to higher levels or just going on to play college football, it shows we got great athletes that care about it and are putting the work in high school. So I am very happy, and I hope that they continue to do that at Walk-On. I'm really proud to be from Walk-On, and just continue to build that and raise the standard there also.
All right, best of luck to you this year.
Thank you.